This is Partners in Crime with Adam Croft and Robert Dawes.
Hello. Well, there we go. After that rather stilted introduction on the video, at least. I think we got there in the end.
Yes, why was that stilted?
I don't know. I made it stilted.
Yeah, so it's a stylistic choice, is it?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. Nothing wrong with a little bit of stilt.
I pressed the wrong button. But the main thing is we are here. We are kind of live-ish.
Live-ish.
On episode 157, I'm reliably informed, of Partners in Crime.
Chugging along.
Chugging along, yes. How are you, Bob? We're in a new year.
Yeah.
In our fifth year, in fact.
I'm all right, really. I mean, January's a funny month, isn't it? I mean, it's it's a little depressing. Everyone says that, but I mean, I've slept a lot and watched a lot of Netflix. Is my way of getting through January. I'm having a dry end of January, just squeezing in a few days after not succeeding to be dry since Christmas, really. So that's my present challenge, but I'm enjoying it, actually. I feel sort of rather nice. But apart from that, I'm fine. Yeah, just sort of pottering along as usual. How about you, my learned colleague?
I can't say I've been dry.
Yeah.
I'm not had a dry January, but I'm doing okay.
Good.
I'm doing all right. Yeah. Not so bad. I got some progress on the new book.
Good.
Which is all very helpful.
Which one? Which series are you sort of? Which seam are you mining in the Croft canon?
Well, I haven't really written much since sort of like May last year.
Yeah.
So and frankly, I need some money, so I'm doing a Rutland one.
That's it.
That's what it boils down
It's
to.
the Rutland scene. Well, Rutland's been giving up all sorts of joyous jewels and gems, hasn't it?
Certainly has.
We mentioned it last time. This wonderful. I've been watching Britain Digs or something like that.
Digging for Britain.
Digging for Britain. I knew it was something along those lines. Which of course concentrated very heavily in one episode on the Roman villa finds in Rutland, which I thought was very exciting.
They also found some sort of sea monster as well.
Well, of course they did. I mean, that was just to be expected. But, I mean, it was a wonderful mosaic of a description of the story of the fall of Troy.
Yeah.
Who knew that was just yards away from the huge creation of Adam Croft's marvellous murder mystery series set in that very, very county.
Well, that's good. We did actually notice a bit of an uptick in book sales as a result. So I think what's happened is people have just started Googling Rutland. They've heard of it now, so they've Googled it, and I've come up somewhere on page 17.
So they found a sea monster, not in the lake.
No.
Not in the Rutland lake.
Well, yeah, that would be
That would
quite
be
extraordinary.
Wouldn't it? That would put
only
Nessie to bed, wouldn't it?
They built that in the late 60s, early 70s. That would be quite extraordinary.
So a fairly new sea monster.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wearing flares and a big afro.
And a kipper tie.
But no.
Okay.
Alas, no. That would be quite a discovery, and wouldn't surprise me, to be honest. They've had all sorts else popping up there. But we need to dip into our mailbag. First of all, to say hello and welcome to Debbie Edwards, who joins us as a top-tier Randall and Hopkirk deceased patron. Not a deceased patron.
No.
Obviously.
No.
At least not at the time of recording.
No.
A patron who is on the Randall and Hopkirk deceased tier.
Marvellous.
But the tier's not
hello,
actually...
Debbie.
The tier's not deceased either.
I'll just say hello, Debbie, while he's rambling.
We didn't think about this when we named it, did we?
No, well, I have to
so.
say, I don't want to actually put you in it any more than I have to. That wasn't my creation. Those names were entirely from your...
From Moriarty.
Ed.
From Moriarty.
Was that from Moriarty?
I am not taking...
Okay. Well, thank you. Hello, Debbie. Welcome to Partners in Crime in your new capacity as a leading member of the Randall and Hopkirk deceased band of Patreon members.
Yes. And also, in our mailbag this week, I forget to say that, we don't get a lot of mail, but...
Dear Santa, what are
mainly because we've forgotten in like a year and a half to even mention our email address, so...
Oh, is that... Well, that's a good indication. If you want people to get in touch with you, they probably need that.
But,
what is our email address?
It's hello@partnersincrime.online.
Oh.
So there we go.
I didn't even know that.
No, I had to check. We had a note to let us know that Partners in Crime has made 3 of the top listener charts on Good Pods.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, we are number 15, or we're at this point, number 15 in the top 100 TV reviews podcast chart, number 19 in the top 100 books podcast chart, and number 42 in the top 100 arts podcast chart at Good Pods.
So we need to get our arts in gear.
We need to get our arts in gear, yeah, number 42.
Oh, God.
Meaning of life.
That's very cheery. 15 for TV.
TV reviews, yeah.
Oh, well, good. 19 for books. Mm. Oh, excellent. Is that? Well, that's. I think I'm just going to try and give myself a pat on the back. There we are.
Socially distanced, we'll pat ourselves.
Well, thank you very much. Of course, we owe that to all you fine people out there.
No, we owe it to ourselves. We're the talent.
Well,
we're the ones who put this out there.
You say that, and suddenly Partners in Crime's listening figures go down to 2 people, one in Scunthorpe and the other in Ulaanbaatar.
Well, it's been down to 2 people.
It's been down. Well, must have been 2 people listening to us at one point.
I'll tell you what, this will make you laugh, Bob. A couple of weeks ago, one of my books, What Lies Beneath, the first Rutland book, was featured as, and I'll say it's word for word, the Sunday read suggestion on the affectionately titled See You Next Tuesday podcast. Make of that what you will.
I'm not often speechless, am I? But I mean, that's See You Next Tuesday podcast.
Yeah.
And that is that
that was a featured Sunday read suggestion.
Well, there we are.
So, featured See You Next Tuesday.
So, what was that film? Sales on a Sunday after Tuesday afternoon? I don't know what it is. But that's interesting. Oh, so that's good. And do they do what we do on Tuesday afternoon?
I very much doubt it.
No, exactly. I mean, mind you, it is. What's the day?
Tuesday
morning.
It's Tuesday.
Right. Okay. Oh, well, hearty congratulations to you.
Okay, I'm not quite sure what to make of that, but I'll take it.
Well, just take it as the accolade that it is.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing. So, okay, well, that's very interesting. Any more news? I love that. I love getting mail.
Yep.
Listen, everyone, if you've got anything to say, good or bad, preferably good, but, we'll take bad on the chin too, please drop us a line on this email address that I didn't even know existed till just a few minutes ago.
hello@partnersincrime.online.
hello@partnersincrime.online. Oh, hello at partnersincrime.online.
Yeah.
Then we'll never get any mail now after that. After I sabotage that.
We're in our 5th year. He's got the hang of it.
Yes, yes. Finger on the pulse as ever.
We had a listener.
We had a listener,
Genevieve Scholl, who got in touch with us recently. Hello.
Hello, Genevieve.
By emailing hello@partnersincrime.online. She says, hello, Adam and Robert. I was listening to your backlog while watching Doctor Who, the Matt Smith seasons. I think she means back catalogue, but yeah.
Yes.
Sounds vaguely dirty, doesn't it? Listening to our backlog.
Yes, well, I don't know about that. But I didn't know we had a back catalogue. Of course we've got a back catalogue. We're 157.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
157, is it? Yeah, 157, yeah.
God, can you imagine? There'll probably be a television show dedicated to us in 250 years' time as they dig up all our backlog.
Yeah, 150 years' time when it suddenly hits fashion, suddenly becomes popular.
Yes. What does Genevieve have to say?
We knew we'd get there one day. She was listening to our backlog while watching Doctor Who, the Matt Smith seasons, and she says, it got me wondering, do you think Doctor Who can be considered a police procedural show? She says, a man versed in the laws of the universe, discovering mysteries, investigating and solving them, then bringing the bad guys to justice. He even has detectives or deputies in the form of his companions. Thoughts?
Well, I think that's very interesting. First of all, congratulations, Genevieve, on magnificent multitasking. I could not actually look at our back catalogue and Doctor Who at the same time. So that's congratulations on that. I think, well, we've had this conversation on many occasions, really. The definition of what is a crime investigation
has been stretched by us for the purposes of creating content.
Well, exactly. Yeah. We can actually read in a police procedural or crime investigation into pretty much everything and anything. So I would say absolutely. I mean, he's a space detective. you could say is going to different universes, looking out for the baddies, bringing them to justice as best he can. I think that's a really very good observation, Genevieve. I've never thought of Doctor Who in that way, and I will do in future.
Yeah, and we will introduce our brand new Doctor Who review section on every episode from now on, where we talk about the latest episode. I think there's enough podcasts that do that.
I think there are quite a few, and I know enough people who are very good at who's our main. Mr. Sylvester is one of our main listeners who.
I think about Sylvester McCoy while we're talking about Doctor Who.
Of course there is.
Yeah, I thought that's what you were talking about. Go on. Yeah, sorry, yes.
Yeah. And
James Sylvester.
Yes.
I mean, yes.
Yes. Or Paul, as he's sometimes called. Hello.
Is it James? It's James.
It is.
Yeah.
He's got two names. Okay. I mean, he's a man of mystery and intrigue, but he's a splendid writer. And he is also a mastermind of Doctor Who. So, any question you might need to ask about that, if you feel any need to ask a question about Doctor Who, it sounds as if Genevieve is pretty up on the genre and the character. So, that's...
Well, on that, she says, P.S., I'm curious who your favourite Doctor is and what episode of their time on the show is your favourite. I think, personally, Genevieve, my favourite Doctor is Dr. Range. I like his personally most liked his work on Dr. Range on Call. Although I've got to say his performance in the Christmas special of the Great British Sewing Bee does come a close second.
Oh, well, I know. I've met him, and a very nice chap he is. Yes, my favourite. I need to
put my name drop alert into this new system.
Yes, my favourite Doctor. This is a serious favourite Doctor. I mean, I was just thinking about this.
It's
the
not
other
the one
day.
who does your prostate exams
in an idle Doctor Who. I think
my favourite. He's very gentle, very considerate.
Will you kindly not use... What's that little thing he uses? That
he uses the little finger, doesn't he?
No, not the little finger. What's Doctor Who's little screwdriver?
Sonic screwdriver. Yeah, well, you wouldn't want that up there.
You certainly wouldn't. Oops, that's my coccyx. Right, so, yes, my favourite Doctor Who... I was only thinking about this yesterday because I saw a thing come through from Big Finish, who do all the Doctor Who's as audios, which I'm sure many of you know, or certainly Genevieve will.
Big Finish aren't words you want to say after talking about your prostate exam.
I've got to settle down now. Remember that comedian?
Bring it back on course, Bob.
Settle down now.
Bring it back on course.
Yes, here we go. Veering over into the middle lane. My favourite Doctor Who was, without a shadow of a doubt, Patrick Troughton. And I was looking at a Big Finish advert for one of their up-and-coming productions with... which had David Troughton, the acting son of the late Patrick Troughton. And I asked myself the same question. It was my favourite. I didn't really have to ask because I already knew, because he was in one of my most formative Doctor Who periods. In fact, probably the only one. He was my Doctor, and he's a wonderful actor as well. So it's definitely Doctor number 2. Yeah.
And we're back there again.
It veers back.
Right, you can bring it back, so I'm going to have a go.
Take your time.
I'll do my best. In the news this week, a very interesting article in The Scotsman, which said that publishers pay to get books on the W.H. Smith bestseller charts, say industry insiders. Customers who purchase a novel or autobiography displayed in a top 100 chart may be buying a book not nearly as popular as its placement suggests.
Ooh.
In some cases, the chart position is based not on sales, but how much a publisher has paid to have its title billed a bestseller. According to industry insiders, one former W.H. Smith employee revealed when he worked at the high street chain, staff were instructed to display author and TV presenter Richard Osman's novel The Thursday Murder Club in the number 1 spot, regardless of sales figure, because publisher Penguin Random House had paid for the the space.
Well, can I say something? Is that right? Is that proper?
Well, is that news? It was my first thought. This has been known about for a long, long time.
I would no disrespect to Richard. He's lovely and,
absolutely,
and a hugely successful book.
And we know exactly how many copies it has sold.
Bound to be a stage play at one point. But well, I mean, it does beg the question that if you are with a less big or
otherwise known as smaller.
Yeah, smaller, otherwise known as smaller publisher, without the funds and wherewithal to actually achieve such influence in the bookshop and actually promote. I mean, Amazon have gone through this whole thing about sort of sorting out the false reviews that people were buying for, and on tweet people were buying huge numbers of followers for money, and that was all outlawed as being wrong. So is it right and is it proper? I'd be interested to hear some feedback from our listeners on this, that publishers should be able to buy a number one slot.
Well, industry figures have used the age-old argument, which is, as far as I'm concerned, never actually an argument that should be used, that these sorts of agreements have just long been part of the way publishers and retailers have done business. That's not really the point of pointing out a major issue and injustice and unethical way of doing things to say, well, this is the way it's always been done. I mean, yeah. If that was the way we looked at things, we'd still be living in caves and slavery would still be legal and women still wouldn't have the vote. So that's the way it's always been done is not really an argument. But credit to James Daunt, Managing Director at Waterstones, the UK's largest bookshop chain for our overseas listeners, said it was commonplace for other retailers to exchange spots in their charts for money. But he said Waterstones did that until 2011 when he put an end to the deals following his appointment, a decision which he says has helped the business thrive. He said, since I took over in 2011, Waterstones has never taken 1 penny to place books. The year before, however, it took £27 million from publishers. And he says, we sell a lot more books when you let booksellers get on with their job.
So that's for the last 10 years plus.
The Waterstones charts have been completely accurate and based entirely on sales.
So how does that? Sorry, I'm being slow and catching up as usual. So where did so what about the book we've just been talking about?
Well, this is W.H. Smith's.
W.H.
The specific
Smith.
allegation was about.
Oh, right.
They're not the only ones. I will go out on the limb and say that much without libelling anyone in particular.
And obviously, this isn't something that happens. This isn't something that independent bookshops do.
I wouldn't have said so.
No,
independent bookshops, they can either go by their sales or they can go by recommendations and things they would put out there. I don't think big publishers are going to be approaching many independent bookshops and paying money for placement. They'll do it through chains and larger retailers, I'm sure. But in the interest of balance and fairness, where we might try to find some, and we are struggling, W.H. Smith said in a statement, book charts differ across our estate, reflecting our different customer bases in high street, travel and online, plus local market conditions and consumer interests, whatever the devil that means. Our charts combine sales performance with forecasts of which books our buyers anticipate will be bestsellers, i.e. the ones that have paid them the most money, which ensures our customers are offered the most relevant range in every store. It is not possible for publishers to buy specific positions in our book charts. Very carefully worded. So they were then asked if it was possible for publishers to guarantee a spot in a given range in the chart, such as the top 5, to which W.H. Smith did not respond. Penguin Random House declined to comment, and a representative for Rich Dosman did not respond to requests for comment either.
Now, how does that sort of cross over to ebooks? Because obviously you can't actually pay someone like, well, our wonderful Kobo or the other retailers of ebooks throughout the world. You can't actually give them a huge wad of money and just say, put us at the top of your charts.
I mean, you can try. I think online it's less influential perhaps because... for example, the big retailer that's named after a river, they actually have a number of different charts, and they're very open about the fact they say, look, this is our most read chart, this is our most bought chart. They have movers and shakers and all these different charts that they have. that are calculated in different ways, and they're open about the way they're calculated. Also, online retailers like Kobo, for example, will have their bestseller chart. They will also have carousels and things on the homepage that will show you popular books at that moment in time. They'll make recommendations, and they would do that in a very open manner as well. So I think online it doesn't necessarily work as well, especially seeing as retailers know what you read, they know what you like. They can email you and say you might like this book.
Yeah.
Which is essentially what they're trying to do, or the publishers are trying to do through these high street bookshops, by paying these shops, paying these chains money to say, can this book have higher placement? But rather than paying them to recommend it, which has often been done through various TV book clubs, where publishers will pay an amount of money to have that book chosen, rather than having a certain team who may or may not be a husband and wife actually going out and picking these books. But that's the way that's done. But I think when you're claiming something, it's not like claiming it's a bestseller, and bestseller charts, I would say any given person in the high street would assume that means these are the books that are selling the best, not the books the publishers want to sell the best.
Oh, right.
I would.
I'll try and.
I would draw the line there myself. I don't know about you.
I'll try and untangle that Gordian knot. And,
listen back
in my head. Right. Well, there we go. So I'm sure it's all on the level. We'll be talking about publishers' Christmas parties next.
No, I just get Moriarty to run this episode past a solicitor before we put it out.
Yes. So I'm going to move on to television. So considering we're number 50. Oh, we haven't finished your. Have we got more mail?
No, I've got some news, but I'll do that afterwards.
Okay. Well, I'm moving on. Considering we're number 15. And what was the in the podcast, the Good Reads?
Good Pods.
Good Pods. Well, thank you, Good Pods. Number 15.
Good Pods listeners.
Oh, Good Pods.
That's a real chart based on who listens.
Do you know, I'm absolutely genuine.
We didn't pay for that. Didn't pay for that placement.
I'm sure we sent a £3 book token.
Can't afford it.
No, we can't. Anyway, so thank you for that. I'm genuinely quite chuffed. So
doesn't take much.
Here comes. We've often talked on this show about real, true life crime, and of course, there are many series which we've reviewed are on the basis that, of course, it's not fiction. Although some of them sound absolutely extraordinary and could be works of fiction, I guess. And the thing I'm going to recommend in a minute is, I think, one of those is that, of course, many novelists, crime writers draw inspiration from real-life cases. And, of course, television is full of them, and there are many podcasts devoted entirely to the genre of true crime. And occasionally, of course, they throw up some fascinating stories, pretty grueling stories. And there's one that's come up on Netflix which caught my fancy last week, and I was absolutely hooked, and I'm glad I watched it. It's called The Puppet Master, if you haven't already heard of it. Hunting the Ultimate Con Man in Netflix's latest gripping docuseries based on a wild true story, writes Morgan McCormack in Stylist. I'll tell you a little bit about it, and then there's a Kobo recommendation of a book which is in the territory of this particular subject. Netflix's latest documentary, The Puppet Master, Hunting the Ultimate Con Man, explores the wild story of the world's ultimate con man. If you flip through Netflix in the last couple of days, you'll have likely seen the new series taking the streaming platform by storm. Well, it did in the Dawes household anyway. The Puppet Master contains everything we love in a good documentary: tension, twists, and true crime. The new series is based on the very real-life case of Robert Hendy Freegard, a 51-year-old British man who masqueraded as an MI5 agent in order to control his victims. In 2005, Hendy Freegard, who also goes by the name David Hendy, was convicted of 10 counts of theft, 8 counts of obtaining money by deception, and 2 convictions for kidnap by fraud. He was given 2 life sentences to run concurrently, but his life sentences for kidnap were quashed by the Court of Appeal, leading to his release in 2009. Yes, he's still out there. So it's worth watching just in case he knocks at your door anytime and you recognise him straight off the bat. I'm not going to really go into much detail about it, apart from a huge recommendation to watch it because it beggars belief. And so I'll just cut to the end of Morgan Cormack's article on this. There are no limits to Hendy Freegard's plots to manipulate, and the Netflix docuseries takes you through all the wild twists and turns of this true crime case, while his whereabouts and Sandra Clifton's, who you will, if you watch this, get to know, and are currently unknown. One thing's for certain, this series will be with you and leave you thinking about it long after you finish watching. So that's Puppet Master. It's available to stream on Netflix now, and it really does. It stayed with me because, as I said, it beggars belief. This man, a total and utter fantasist and con man, managed to make, well, hundreds upon hundreds, maybe millions of pounds by spinning the most extraordinary cons on people who, to listen to them, you think, well, come on, I'm sure you couldn't possibly fall for this, but this man had a sort of hypnotic effect on these people, must have done, to achieve his goals. And as I say, they are fantastical. And for the first hour of the first, it's a 3-parter, by the way, I went, I don't believe that. This guy's just impossible. Surely he did, but he actually managed to achieve what he set out to do and completely draw these people into his web of lives, posing as an MI5 agent, which he wasn't by any means, although he obviously must have studied and behaved the techniques of the intelligence service to be able to pull off such a con. Anyway, it's an extraordinary tale, three 1-hour parts on Netflix, and I would watch it if you will, which leads me very quickly to a recommendation. Yes, it will be. I know. I can see you getting sweaty under
hovering
the
over the button.
This is a Kobo. This gives you a chance for your Kobo. It's a book called Just Another Liar by Mandy Byatt, which has been strongly recommended by Kobo this week. And this is what it's about. He says he loves you. He says you're the only one. He's just another liar. Denise, Petra and Anna all have their reasons for being alone, but they're not ready to share them. David is the answer to all their problems. Not David Hendy, of course, but maybe someone in the manner of such. But they've only met him online. Each woman wants her happy ending, but only one of them can get it. One of these women will end up dead, but which one? And will you ever work out who killed them? The gripping, suspenseful debut that fans of Adele Parks and Leanne Moriarty will love. Just Another Liar. A good book to read alongside The Puppet Master on Netflix, I think, by Mandy Byatt. Where can you get it?
I would strongly suggest you take a look at Kobo, who are our wonderful sponsors and one of the world's largest ebook retailers. As a listener to Partners in Crime, you can get a massive 90% off of your first ebook purchase from Kobo. You don't need an e-reader or any special device, so you can read it on your phone or your tablet if you wish. And if you use the promo code Partners and follow the link in the show notes, you can get 40% off of ebook purchases for life.
And we have to thank them as well.
Massive thanks, yes, for continuing to sponsor us for a 5th consecutive year and over 150-odd episodes now. Probably, we're going to be getting on for 200 episodes.
And we must make clear, we make no personal profit from this. People say, oh you're on a podcast. How's that going? The sponsorship goes entirely into the machinery, the production, the edits, the advertising or whatever. And there is no personal gain from Messrs Croft and Dawes.
In fact, it cost me a bit of money last year.
Yeah, I saw you putting your hand in your pocket. I couldn't believe it.
Doesn't happen very often.
No, I know.
But something else you can get, other than just discounts and things, is a free book of the month if you're a Partners in Crime patron. And the free book of the month from Kobo for January is Storm Deaths by Steve Orme, who you can get the word storm out of his name there as well, which is quite clever. And you can tell it's a thriller because he's picked really 2 dramatic words for the title there. Storm Deaths, love it. Anyway, Steve Orme, not Storm, as I almost called him again there, is an award-winning journalist. He's written for national and international publications, as well as working on the production teams of many television and radio programmes, and Storm Deaths is his first crime novel.
I know Steve Orme. I've met him.
I know you have.
Yes, hello, Steve. Oh, congratulations. Yes, he talked about this.
He interviewed you.
That's right.
About,
yes, lovely man, lovely chap.
About the play What You Was
Yes,
In.
I met him in Chesterfield. Yes. Oh, congratulations, Steve. Well, that sounds like a fantastic read.
It does, and I'll show you why. A reporter is murdered. A television weather presenter inexplicably disappears, as they are wont to do. Are the cases linked? Detective Inspector Miles Davies has to find out. His attempts are continually thwarted by his boss, who seems intent on ensuring that Davies doesn't discover the truth. But why is Davies reluctant to investigate whether any members of a local basketball team are involved? Davies knows he has to weather the storm and find answers before more bodies are discovered. Usually £3.99 an ebook, and it's yours absolutely free if you're a Partners in Crime patron. That will be in your dashboard now. And Partners in Crime patrons also get early access to every episode, a good 2 or 3 days before it comes out. Get to watch it in full video, access to our extra bonus episode each week, Partners in Crime Arsenic and Old Lace, a shout out on the show in the week you join, like Debbie Edwards got earlier. Other stuff too, that free book of the month every single month, courtesy of Kobo, and we would love for you to join us. You can go to patreon.com/Partners in Crime podcast or follow the link in the show notes.
Well done.
That's
worthy of
the discussion we were going to have that we were talked about before about that other TV show.
Which other TV show?
The one we were talking about before the show, which I'm going to tease and just tell people we're going to talk about in Partners in Crime, Arsenic and Old Lace. We just leave it for that because we're over our half an hour allotted time.
It's either that or he's forgotten the title.
No, I've got it right here in front of me. I don't want to say it because I don't want to give it away. And also that other news story as well.
Oh, yes.
We'll roll that over. And
yes.
This is why we do Arsenic and Old Lace, you see. This is why we have an extra episode or bonus thing each week so that we can actually get through all the stuff without subjecting everybody to everything.
And listeners would have realised that when I say something like, yes, I've got no idea what he's talking about.
I think we've got the hang of that by now.
Yep. Well, anyway, so how's the timing on this, Adam, in your anal capacity of Time Watcher?
Dreadful. Nearly 32 minutes now. You can see me literally itching.
It breaks out in hives if we go even a second over the 30 minutes. But anyway, we've done it. He's looking a bit poorly. Poor love. Right. Well, I suppose we ought to stop before you expire through unnatural
hyperventilating
causes.
Now.
Yes. Okay.
Get on with it. See you next week.
Death by running over time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Partners in Crime was presented by Adam Croft and Robert Dawes and produced by Adam Croft. The theme tune was by the Caesareans. The Partners in Crime logo and imagery were designed by Stuart Beisch. Partners in Crime is sponsored by Kobo, your favourite local bookshop, perfected.